Welcome. This is Zangler, the Tesla semi advocate. And I decided to go up to Electric Avenue and try to get some footage, just like the old days, of the Tesla semi in action. In about 35 minutes of being parked, I saw 9 Tesla semis come by. And I took the opportunity to video several of them. This is a 20 minutes of Tesla semi, and I've actually sped up a lot of the footage on I-80 as I drove in front of the Tesla semi all the way out to Fernley, or to at least the Wadsworth exit, which is east of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center. And so the biggest news about it, there's 2 big things. One I already posted. I saw several crates from Gro Industries, and somebody has pointed out that the B, it's a German company, and you don't necessarily pronounce it that way, but since I don't really know how to pronounce it, I'll continue to pronounce it that way. Anyway, a bunch of automated EV production equipment was spotted on a crate, and I'll point it out later in the video. I left that brief video in here. Here is a Tesla long range with a flatbed and concrete blocks. Of course, the diesel bros will say those are styrofoam blocks, as they used to say that my previous videos, they oftentimes would claim it was hauling potato chips because of the Pepsi Frito-Lay connection, glossing over the fact that actual sodas are very heavy. So as we follow this one out from the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, USA Parkway, I want to point out that and it has a short fairing. The short fairing goes with the flatbed. No need to have extra drag and lower your coefficient of drag when you're not hauling a tall trailer. The other breaking news is a sighting of the very rare and very endangered standard range Tesla semi with only 2 battery packs versus 3. I don't believe that Tesla made more than enough standard range Tesla semis with the 2 battery packs. I think you can count the number they made on one hand and not use your thumb. Might even have a finger left over, who knows. The other really fun news is a sighting of the driver affectionately known as Yeti Man. I believe it was Autopilot who originally coined the term or the name for the burly looking Tesla semi driver that was captured almost 2 years ago going up the Donner Pass summit and passing all of the other diesel semis like they were standing still. He's a big guy with a big beard, and he's been affectionately dubbed Yeti Man. I had not seen him in one of the semi drive-bys in a long time. So welcome back, Yeti Man. And he's not camera shy like maybe some of the other Tesla semi drivers. So that's the summary of what you're going to see in this 20-minute video. So those of you who stick with me till the end, you are the true fans of the Tesla semi. You're going to see many different configurations, and this over there to the right where that tent sort of building is where I spotted at least 20, approximately 20 large crates that bear the name Grob on the side. So they have staged a lot of EV semi production equipment there, and they're now bringing it up. And I hope to fly the drone later today and capture some of that activity, although it's just the luck of the draw if I do. Here is the footage of the styrofoam blocks being towed by the flatbed. And this driver is part of the engineering group. He will be driving out to Lovelock. I believe they do several of those laps a day. And then they come back and charge up at Giga Nevada, Legacy Giga Nevada, GF1. And they are putting on as many miles as they can, as quickly as they can, to discern or identify any potential issues based on high mileage. And I believe Dan Priestley said one of these Tesla semis is well over 200,000 miles on it. Don't quote me on that. But anyways, this is now the not Electric Avenue. He just turned right off of Electric Avenue onto USA Parkway, and we'll follow him almost to the freeway, I-80. Well, he will hop on the freeway and head east towards Lovelock and turn around and come back. And they do this 2 shifts a day, 7 days a week, 12-hour shifts, I might add. And they are dedicated to this engineering, pilot, production, testing. That's no small expense. So they're doing a great job, in my estimation, of dedicating and
really
assigning priority. Here is that Grob crate.
Oh.
I saw one of these heavy
What did it say?
trailer trucks, semi trucks, coming down empty and pulling into the lot where that just came out of. And then I looked and I saw 20 more of those crates, approximately. Here's another Tesla semi, a different Tesla semi with the high fairing. And I don't recall yet, but we're going to find out here. Is this just a bobtail, or is this hauling a trailer? There's a bobtail. And here's another Tesla semi back at my parking spot where I was waiting to see how many would come down in about 30 minutes. Sort of a channel check, as an analyst might say, just to see how many of these Tesla semis are actually being used. And again, they're being used by the Tesla engineering group, which is based out of 550 Milan, the pilot production building. Their job is to put as many miles on these as possible. I would almost guarantee that this particular truck is part of the production unit, and based on that trailer, and he is heading out to Fremont with a load of battery packs and or drive motors that were built at Legacy Gigafactory 1. Here we go. Here is the standard range Tesla, the rare and endangered standard range, and you'll see later how much shorter it is. It's shorter because there's one less battery pack in it, and it's been months since I've seen one of these in the wild. And again, Yeti Man is at the controls. Yeti Man is driving this Tesla semi, almost certainly heading out to Lovelock on one of his several round trips that the Tesla semi drivers do every day. There was a lot of fun talk about Yeti Man, about how he is the cliche of a Tesla semi driver. He's a big man and got a big beard. So I don't know if I can possibly do a voiceover for all 20 minutes. So we'll see. I'll interject whenever I think it's appropriate, but I'll let you watch. I can no longer find music that one of the social media channels doesn't identify as proprietary music, and so no more music. Even if it's the delivered music with Adobe Premiere Rush, which worked for years, and then recently started getting flagged as copyrighted. Anyway, you may have seen the sign Tahoe Reno Industrial Center. It's nowhere near Tahoe. That's like a real estate agent that says seasonal creek on a piece of property when it's actually a ditch. And mostly level means that it's practically a cliff. And Tahoe Reno Industrial Center is nowhere near Tahoe. But it did say it's the world's largest something industrial center, and it is growing by leaps and bounds. And I might as well put in my plug. The boring company should come out here and build a boring tunnel between Sparks and a transit center there in USA Parkway. Every afternoon and every morning, I-80 gets backed up. There is no frontage road, so not only does it get backed up every day, if there's an accident, you can be stuck on Highway 80, either the east or westbound, for hours while the coroner comes out, especially if it's a fatality. But until such time as they can remove it, there's no frontage road that goes all the way from USA Parkway to Sparks, Reno. Man, a boring tunnel would be perfect. This afternoon and morning traffic gets backed up, and I have to give myself an extra 30 minutes at least if I'm going to go into town during the rush hours, or come back out of Reno towards Fernley. Anyway, let's get going with the boring tunnel, solve the problem. It's got to be cheaper than trying to expand the highway or put in a frontage road, because this narrow canyon is home to I-80, a train track, and the Truckee River, and there's not a lot of room to expand this freeway or put in a frontage road. And none of that is going to be able to keep up with the explosion of construction and new businesses going in at Tahoe Regional Industrial Center. So there's my thing. I don't know if it's just planting a seed, and hopefully that can happen. I would venture that the governor and the Department of Transportation for Nevada, NDOT, would help fund that, or completely fund it, because it's just an elegant solution. And I would say it's a 15 to 18 mile direct shot, maybe slightly less, and it would go under the local mountains here, and they could use they could do the same thing as they do, the same model as they do in Vegas, and have parking at both sides, and have buses at USA Parkway that take people from the end of the boring tunnel to the various companies, including Tesla, Google, Walmart, Switch, and Redwood Materials. Anyway, moving on. Here is the Tesla Semi short range, or standard range. Don't call it short range. Kind of similar to how the small coffee at Starbucks is called the tall. One thing, before the haters come out, I have never, ever seen a Tesla Semi speeding. And even though the speed limit is 70 here, this, I believe they're restricted to 65 miles an hour or less. But I've never, ever seen them speeding. The key thing about it is going up the Donner Pass, heavily loaded, they can stay at 65 and not drop down to 45 and turn on their flashers like any heavily loaded diesel semi does. In California, and I'm not sure about Nevada, but I know in California if a semi on the freeway drops down to 45 miles per hour or lower, they're required to turn on their flashers. You're never going to see a Tesla semi turning on its flashers because it's only going 45 up a grade. Any grade in the country, the Tesla semi can maintain highway legal speed. Doesn't mean it will go to the highway legal speed, but it can maintain that speed if it elects to. This, as you can see, this standard range Tesla semi has been scuffed up a little bit. Kind of nice look at the area I'm talking about. I-80. Those trees are only there because the Truckee River is nearby. They go along the Truckee River. There's no trees in this part of northern Nevada unless it's close to a water source. And we also don't have that thing that grows on the ground. It's green and it seems to spread in other states. I think they call it grass. That's not a thing here, unless you plant it and feel like spending a lot of money watering it. Some still shots of the Tesla semi. This configuration, however, can meet a large percentage of the logistics needs of trucking companies. And I've always been surprised they didn't build more, that they haven't built many dozens of them, because they use 1/3 less batteries. Therefore, they can make that many more for the same amount of battery cells. Although I don't think that they're. Here's a view of the Truckee River, that narrow canyon, and I'm not sure if you see the train tracks, but those are also all slammed into this narrow canyon. Narrow but beautiful canyon. Geologically very interesting. That narrow band of white is diatomaceous earth. There's a DE mine nearby, and it's pretty interesting how those are a bunch of little sea creatures. As far as I know, you can correct me if you're a geologist, but I believe that little white band, or actually incredibly large white band, represents an inland sea many millions of years ago, before uplifting and before the Sierras were created. Either inland sea or ancient Lake Lahontan, more likely, depending on how far back you go. But billions of little tiny sea creatures died and were deposited in that white band that you see in the background. We're getting to the end of the video. I get off here. I have my driver pull off at Wadsworth and watch the standard range Tesla with Yeti Man driving pull by. I want to thank you. If you stuck through 20 minutes, you are an aficionado. And I have capitulated, and I will say, if you like this video, please like, subscribe, follow, and do anything else you can do to help support the channel. And one of the biggest ones is to use my Tesla referral code if you happen to be, that's like a year worth of X payout if you if you choose to use my referral code. Thanks again.